Hi, Izzy here with FigLeaf Yoga and Fitness, FigLeaf.Fit. Today is the very last section of the You Are a Badass book. And it's, of course, a good one because all of the portions of this book are a good one. If you missed any of the previous ones, they are live recorded and in the playlist. However, you can still listen to them independently as well. So this one might just be the one for you. So part 5 is how to kick some AWS. All right. So 23 starts with the almighty decision. And this is just an all in or all out yes or no. Maybes aren't an option. Because when you choose maybe, that's choosing limbo, and you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to be in this stuck spot where nothing in life is changing, and you start to get in a rut. And if you've noticed you've been there, that's most likely because you haven't been making decisions, that you've just been saying a whole lot of maybes. And I used to have this really bad tendency, like people would ask me a question, I'd be like, well, I guess. And I would never give a definite yes, and I would never give a definite no. And it left everyone fuzzy. Like, it left everyone not really sure. And that's what it does with the law of attraction. It leaves this unsure ground. That's what it does for you. You're not sure. So you have to really allow yourself to commit. And that is whether you're unsure or not, you just pick a choice and you go with it. And if it wasn't the right choice, then you know that wasn't it, and then you change and you go down the other route. Now, I get it, some choices you're like, wow, it's not that kind of option, but it is, because you have to choose something. And if whatever you choose, you will know if that was good or that was bad. And sometimes maybe it's not the best choice, but at least you made a choice. Because you could sit in your house all day and life passes you by and you didn't do anything. Or you could go out and take adventures and maybe you mess up a few times, like, and I'm not saying like go do drugs. I'm just saying like make a choice, like whether to paint the walls. Instead of not painting the walls, you couldn't decide between green or blue. Well, just pick one, and then if you decide in a year or two to change the color, then change the color. I'm talking about, you know, good situations that we often let it eat ourselves up. So one of the quotes is, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. And the idea is that you're gonna put your spin and your taste and change things, and things evolve. Nothing's a definite black or white answer. It never is. It's always a multitude of shades of gray. But when we pick one end of the spectrum, it allows us to move in a direction instead of just sitting still. But it also allows us to stop half-assing it. Like, really, like, you know, where you're like, ah, I want this dream of mine, but I'm just, and you've got that not definitely chose it in your heart kind of feeling. There's a big difference when you're like, yes, this is what I want and this is what I'm going for. And you're like, some things, some details aren't worked out perfectly, but that's what I'm going to go do. And life and everything else is just totally different when you do it that way. Versus if you let all these doubts and hesitancies come in and you start half-assing it, it goes really weird and it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, and it leaves you more confused. And stop being confused. Why be confused if you don't have to? Just choose something. So often we pretend we've made a decision when what we've really done is signed up to try it until it gets too uncomfortable. And this happens a lot with people with diets, diets or workouts or stuff like that, they don't fully commit to it. They say, yes, I'm going to do it, but there's still that hesitancy in their soul or heart or, their gut feeling. There's still that hesitancy. And as soon as it starts to get a little too hard, they allow themselves to drop off. They allow themselves to give in to the excuses, because really, if you were all in and you were like, this is what I'm doing it until I win, the excuses don't have a chance. Like, they just don't. And we talked about excuses are your ego trying to self-preserve. And that old ego is not going to have a chance, because you put your big girl pants on, you put your pink boxing gloves on, and you're going for it. And there is no getting in your way. And they talk about, like, Henry Ford. He, like, I don't even think finished high school. And here he was, like, bossing around all these engineers. And do you think he let some doubt enter his mind that, oh, maybe I need to go back to school? Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Hell no. Like, he had his idea. He knew he was fantastic at it. He knew he could do it, and he did it. And then, he had the respect of these engineers that they were working under him and studying under him, and he was bossing them around. If you really, really want something and you've got it, like, then go for it. He talks about this one guy, he didn't say no. He wanted a loan for his business idea, and he went to 30 banks, and it wasn't until, like, Bank 31 or Bank 32 that he finally got approved for the loan for his business. And that wouldn't have happened if he didn't keep going. So if you made the decision that you were going to reach your goals, you would do whatever it took. Unshakable belief is the not yet seen. You might see it in your mind, and if you can see it in your mind, then that means that it's possible. The only failure is quitting. Everything else is just gathering information. And I read a lot of business books and business stories, and almost every single one of them is like, you are not going to have success on the first business that you build. And I can definitely tell you that. It might be business 3, it might be, luckily maybe business 2, but most likely, like in my case, it was business 5 or 6 that finally started getting off the ground. And a lot of those other ones definitely could have. The thing that really killed it for me was my lack of confidence, my lack of full dedication. I doubted myself a lot, and I still do it in this business as well, and I have to catch myself. And thankfully I have these tools that I can recognize that a lot easier and catch myself. And I try to check in with my goals and write my goals down, and if I didn't do a few, it's like, why didn't I hit those goals for the week? And most likely I had the time, I got distracted by something. So reminding yourself of your goals every morning with meditation or just a little powwow with yourself is a really great thing, so that it's less likely for those excuses to slip in and for your gumption to kind of diminish or get pushed aside. Deciding is freedom. Indecision is torture, and I'm sure you've been there where you're not sure and you're trying to make a decision, and the decision-making process is just eating you up, and you're stressing and pulling your hair out and biting your nails and not eating or eating too much or whatever that could be. Indecision is one of the most popular tricks for staying stuck within the boundaries of what's safe and familiar. Again, that's that ego. So build up your decision-making muscle. Knock yourself out with the habit of being a deer stuck in the headlights. So just start with little decisions is what she goes on to. Like, if you have a really hard time deciding, then start with just maybe going through your closet and getting rid of clothes and saying a definite yes and a definite no. And would I buy this at the store? Yes or no? No, maybes. Or maybe it's going to the store and picking out foods, and instead of buying 10 things, you're like, I'm buying 5 things for dinner tonight, and that's it. And when you get a whole bunch of stuff in the basket, you've got to start making yes and no's, and let yourself build up slowly. It doesn't have to be these big life altering decisions every single time you put this the skill to test. And then know too that decisions are not up for negotiation. If you decide that yes, I am going for this diet, or yes, I'm going to school, that quitting is not an option. Because if you allow that to seep in, the excuses are going to start seeping in, and you're not going to have a chance because you didn't really decide. All right, stay present and do not even for a second look backward or entertain any ideas of straying from your decision. Think only of the new you. The whole point of deciding is to stop wasting time and to move forward, not to spend time figuring out how you can wiggle out of your decision. All right, comment if you've done that one. Have tenacity. And I love this one, especially us ladies. Birthing your dreams is like giving birth. Conceiving the idea is the fun part, hopefully. And then you go through an insane amounts of fear and excitement and dreaming and planning and vomiting and growing and thinking you're crazy and thinking you're awesome. And you're stretching and shaping and shifting until you're practically unrecognizable to everyone, even your own self. Along the way, you clean up your, whatever, your aching back. You apologize to the people whose heads you might have accidentally ripped off in a hormonal spree. But you stay the course because you know this baby of yours is going to be the stuff. Then finally, just when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, labor starts. And your inward twist and strange force stumbling about hunched over in the shape of a C while you try to breathe. Pray and curse, and when just you think you can't do it anymore, there's your baby. A full-blown miracle happens, and then you accomplish your goal. Another big topic, and I won't go into this one too deep, is about money. And a lot of times that money gets in the way of us moving forward. Multiple relationships with money, and she has another book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's got a green cover. I liked that one even better than this one. This one kind of covers everything, but the money one was super specific, and while you're going through it, although it's talking about money, you start relating it to other portions of your life. So just want to throw that out there. But basically it is that money is energy exchange, and when you start giving yourself away for free all the time, people expect free, and they see that not necessarily as a conscious thing, but a subconscious thing is that you don't value yourself. And two, it's also the law of allowing, letting people help you. A lot of times we feel like we can't have help, and that gets in the way of some things, particularly making money. It was about no longer being the kind of person who takes what she can get and finally becoming the kind of person who creates exactly what she wants. Alright, so you can decide to get a crappy car that you're pushing all the time, or and you're spending a lot more time on and missing work, and that is all you can afford because that's the life you set yourself up for. Or maybe you buy the expensive car that's going to allow you to build your confidence and allow you to get to the jobs on time and allow you to present yourself in a new manner. There's lots of choices that we make every day, and those choices have a domino effect. And little things like diving in a business, personal training is a great example. You can try to have two jobs, one being your regular job and the other being your personal training, and build up clients after work a couple days a week. But how are you going to become a full-time personal trainer until you let go of that other job and you really dive in? Now, that's subjective because if you don't have money in the savings and all that other stuff, then you do, shoestring it, and you don't let anything get in your way. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. Remember to surrender. Surrender to what is. Say yes to life and see how life suddenly starts working for you rather than against you. And this is an idea of what we use in yoga a lot, that when you put up your defenses and you become hard, you can't experience relaxation when you're tensing, and you can't work through your pain when you're tense. You have to allow yourself to soften, and you have to allow yourself to breathe through it. Because if you put up the tenseness, it's like putting up a wall, and then you have to break the wall down. Versus you just let yourself be there, let it go through you, or just allow yourself to float through it, and so that it's not this painful battle. Like, allow it to be a journey, allow it to be fun, allow yourself to say yes to life. If you feel like you're doubting yourself, then go with whatever you might regret. Allow yourself to find a new decision-making process, and if you're not sure how that works, of course, message me, get with me. All of this pretty much goes back to meditation, and a lot of skills that we learn through meditation, and a lot of skills that we learn through yoga. All of this book is written on Eastern philosophy. All of this stuff has been written and talked about in yoga for thousands of years. This is just presented in Jen's way, and her stories, and how she relates to it, and how she perceived it. But if you get yourself with a true yogi who has studied the philosophy, this stuff you will learn in yoga class, most definitely. And it's a practice. It's a practice meditation. It's a practice of yoga. It's a practice of you. It's a practice of self-care. And self-care can come in many shapes and forms. But if you would like to start meditating, I will have an online meditation course where we'll be live like this, talking and interacting, and we can call each other up afterwards if you have questions, privately or anything of that sort. I also have a self-care program and business opportunities as well. So reach out, let me know what you're needing in your life, or if you have a void and you need help finding out what it is you need in your life. Once again, I'm Izzy, and this is FigLeaf.Fit, and this is the end of You Are a Badass book study. Hope to see you soon.